Alright, so I want to talk about the last couple of systems that we put together, the Ryzen 3 3200G and the Ryzen 7 3700X. Um, they each had their own unique issues when we were building them before. So the 3200Gs, let's start with those. The RAM that was in those was advertised as and was sold to us as and printed on the side of the thing as 3200 megahertz. Well, typically RAM does not just run at that whenever you stick it in your system and turn it on. The default or whatever for that is to run at the base clock frequency for DDR4, which is determined by a different group of people other than the people that actually make the RAM, whether that be the G-Skills or whoever that you get your RAM from. They take their RAM and they test it and say, oh, okay, well, we were able to get it to run at these speeds. But that's not the default speed for RAM, so whenever you put it in, it runs at much lower than that until you go in and actually tell it that, hey, I want it to run at the speeds that it was told that it would run at. So activating that in the XMP profile, or the DOCP profile or whatever, AMD calls it DOCP. That didn't let the system boot whenever we did that. For some reason, it would just cycle and never get past that. So we turned that off so that we could finish the build and get everything installed on and everything. The solution for that, what we had to do is go in there and manually set those speeds and those timings so that it would run at that speed. And when we did it manually, it just worked. So there wasn't really like anything else that I did after that. So it's like, okay, well, works. So I went with that. As far as the 3700X, I tried to do a RAID on the NVMe SSDs so that I could take the two 500 gigs, run them in RAID 1, have a terabyte of space there, and possibly be slightly faster than just one NVMe SSD. But we've set everything up in the BIOS. We got all the thing was recognized in there. It came out fine. Loaded it up into Windows to the installer, and it said that the drive wasn't recognized. So we went back out and we looked again, and for some reason the RAID didn't stick. So went back, reset it, did the RAID again, rebooted, went back into the BIOS. The RAID was still there. I was like, okay, so definitely stuck this time. So loaded up Windows, and it only recognized 500 gigs, one drive at 500 gigs. Well, that wasn't what we set up. So I went back into the BIOS again, and for some reason now the BIOS was saying, yeah, you've got one RAID array that spans both drives. It's 1 terabyte, but you also have a second RAID array that's only one of the drives. So somehow or another, loading into the installer for Windows just broke the RAID and pulled one of the drives out and was like, hey, here's a drive. So after a couple of tries of getting that, I ended up giving up on that. So we have one 500 gig drive that has Windows installed on it with a couple of programs, and then we have another 500 gig drive that's just in there that has a couple of more programs on it that will get used more frequently and would maybe benefit from loading a couple of seconds faster. After that, the wires that I had left just tucked into the hard drive bay I ended up pulling those out and putting in 2 hard drives in there. Did get the RAID set up on that one, and so those are now running as a RAID, and I will be storing not necessarily anything essential data or anything like that on there, so it's not super bad that it's in RAID 1. The data that is important would be backed up to the cloud anyways, so it's not really that big of a deal. As far as the server didn't really give me any trouble at all, so I don't really have a lot to say about that. And so yeah, that was basically how we worked out those problems. So now, what do we do following this now? What's kind of the next thing that we do? And at this point, I don't really have a good plan for that. I'm not super good at just sitting down and talking to a camera and just telling the camera everything that I'm thinking today, like, hey, here's my brain, this is what I'm thinking. So I don't know, maybe getting some more practice at that, and then maybe I could talk about some things there. But the systems that we built, those were basically the only ones that I had at this time to be built. What I may try to do is, if I get any people in that have that need to be troubleshooted and go through and maybe do a repair or something, maybe I could do a video about that. So those things are going to be things that are like maybe iffy, because somebody comes in, great, somebody doesn't, can't do too much about that. I do have a couple of ideas for some other systems that we might potentially get for people at the office that I work for. So if that comes through, we'll definitely do that. The systems that we already built, I've already submitted paperwork on those to get the Windows keys for those. The paperwork hasn't come back yet, so we haven't been able to order those yet, but we will be getting those in there and installed on those systems, so that's definitely going to be a thing. But that's going to be like a couple of seconds. Oh, here's your key. Oh, we typed it in. Oh, it's activated. And then that's going to be basically it. So it's not necessarily something to make a video about, but if there's anything else that's like a whole, like, here, take this system, fix all of the things that you can find wrong with this, then possibly we might do something there. Other than that, I don't really know. So yeah, if you have any comments or anything about that, or if you have any ideas of something that you might like to see, leave that in the comment section below. If you like these types of videos, give it a thumbs up. If you don't really care for these, give them the thumbs down. Really, either way, a thumbs up or a thumbs down helps me, because then that lets me know what you don't really want to see anymore. So if you thumbs down, I'll know maybe stay away from doing that type of thing. Maybe talking to a camera is just not for me, So we'll see. If you want to see maybe some repairs or some troubleshooting or something like that, then tell me about that. And if you think that possibly just stick to the builds whenever you get a chance, then you know what, say that. Just let me know what you're thinking. And as always, if you want to see anything else from me, hit the subscribe button or and the little bell so that you get notified. But yeah, I guess that's basically all I had to do today, was just kind of follow up on those last couple of systems. So let me know what you think. Thumbs up, thumbs down, like, subscribe, whatever you got to do there. And I'm gonna leave a link in the description on this one. Again, for SCD Key, place where you can buy your own Windows licenses, just like we're doing for the systems that we just built. Leave a little coupon code in there. You save a few bucks off of that, and I don't know. Nobody's bought anything from them yet using my discount code, so I'm not sure how it works on the compensation, whether they just give me a credit towards a future key that I buy or something. I don't know how all that works, so I can't really say what would happen if you did buy from them using my code, but I'm sure in some way I'll probably find use of whatever that they give me. So by doing that, checking out using my code, you'll be benefiting the channel and the content that we do here. So that'll be in the description if you want it. Otherwise, we'll just catch you next time. Thanks for watching.